This got brought up a little bit with Logan, and this kind of gave me the idea. I just had Logan Shakowski on the last podcast, and this gave me the idea to speak more about this. Everybody lives their life every day thinking that they are the main character of every story. Whatever we do, we think we're the main character.
Yeah.
And really, probably only 1% of the human population around the whole entire history of mankind has only been the main character. I would argue it's probably less than 1%. But what are we all? We're all supporting characters. From the beginning of time to the time that humanity ends, we have all supported whatever the big narrative of the story is. So I guess to ask the question, do you guys feel like people live their daily lives thinking we're the main characters? And would we be okay with being the supporting characters? Do you think that's a concept that people are all right with at the end of the day?
People or ourselves?
Yeah, you could do both if you have an answer for each one.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't much enjoy the spotlight. I got dragged into this, and it's fun, but not quite my
Got
cup of
dragged
tea.
into this.
Yeah, it's fine. But so I'm perfectly fine being a supporting character rather than a main one.
Yeah.
I'm not sure many people would agree with me, but
Yeah, I feel like it definitely depends on the person. But I mean, I know, I know for me, I probably would like when I'm in my own head thinking of like my life and stuff, I would probably typically think of myself as like a main character more or less, like just kind of like but I don't know, it's interesting because it's hard to view it like that because obviously um, in stories and like movies, books, TV shows, whatever story it is the story is constructed in a way where there is a clear main character, right? There is clear supporting characters, but like obviously real life isn't a story. It's very different than that. Everybody has their own individual experiences. You can't, it's hard to view it in that way. I think of like, oh, main character, supporting character, like it's, but again, people probably do think of it that way a lot of times. At the same time, like do think of themselves as like they're the main, like I would say you are the main character of your own life. If there was a story of your life, you would be the main character. But so it depends on like what story is being told in a way, right? Like if like in a Batman story, Batman is the main character. But what if there was a story of like the Batman story, but all told from Alfred's perspective? Maybe he could be a main character if you just reframed the story a little bit. So it's like it depends on what viewpoint you're looking at it from. Like if I'm looking at it from my own perspective, yeah, I'm the main character because I'm there. I can see from my perspective. I'm with myself all the time. I'm experiencing everything through my eyes. So yeah, I am the main character from my perspective. But from somebody else's perspective, I'm a supporting character. So I think depends on the viewpoint, the way the story is framed.
Now, one of the best times of year is, Oscar season, award season. We get to sit
Yeah.
down. We've reviewed all these films, and you have these awards for best supporting actor, best supporting actress, best actor, best actress, you know. And we give out awards to them, obviously, because we know how important their characters were to the main characters, just what we're talking about. But do you think at the end of the day, I'm guilty of this just as anybody else, at the end of the day, do we ever give enough credit to the people that support us? Do we ever go say thank you to our parents? Do we ever go say, even just give our pets a hug, like anything else like that keeps us motivated throughout the course of the day?
Yeah.
So I mean, these are
Yeah.
just little things that I'm trying to bring in because it relates so much to film. And we look back and we give all these credits to the supporting actors in these fantasy movies because we try to escape reality. But, it is reality too. I mean, are we as thankful? That's why I kind of go back to this. And it's a good topic, I think, to stay on for this podcast for a little bit here, just because, like, main character, supporting character, I feel like there's just a whole bunch of emotion along with psychological. And,
Mm-hmm.
like you're pointing out too, some of the things like, everybody in their own mind thinks that they're the main character. But how many times do we recognize our supporting characters? How many times do we want to admit that we're the supporting character? At the end of the day, if we don't feel accomplished in our life, you know, maybe our life. You know how everybody's born for a purpose and a reason, and for a certain time and place. Written on my desk just over here, I actually made a note this day. Is I made a note the other day that said, "You were born for a time like this." Now, what does that mean? You know. So these are little things that like keep me thinking, and like this is stuff that I think great storytellers always try to do, whether it's in real life or whether it's in their
Hmm.
work of art. So I just wanted to take a little bit of that question of, do you guys give enough credit to your supporting characters in your life?